I'm so excited. Andrew, all the time.
Oh, hey, my spirit animal.
Love Andrew. So happy you are here. Yay. I'm so excited. I've pushed this off for weeks. You are not first because Andrew is first. Haha. You goodbye. But I'm so excited to be on finally. I've pushed it off, I think, like 3 weeks because every time I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then the day before, I'm like, you know what? I'm not. Because
No
it's
worries.
crazy. You're not second, Alex. You're third. Get it together, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, my goodness. That's funny. All right.
Thank you, gentlemen, for tuning in.
Yes, thank you. And if you noticed, we're missing a co-host, unfortunately, but that is because Janae is now a mama, and I'm so excited for her.
All right. Congratulations to Janae and Sarah and their gorgeous baby girl, Quinn Marlowe. Also, feel better, Sarah. Hope you're in our prayers. I hope you feel better soon. But great news, we have a future LTF ladies host.
Another Cowboys fan who is going to take on.
Well, the mother will make her.
Don't forget, she has an uncle that's a Commanders fan.
Yes, he's gonna look up to women who love football, and those women love the Cowboys. So that trend
I'll
going.
make her a Buccaneers fan after all, or a Lions fan.
Oh, we love you too! Yay!
Sean says woohoo, and Nick says hello, ladies.
Aww.
All right. Well, we are super sad that Janae's not here with us, but super excited for her. And yes, hoping Sarah gets better soon because I know she's not feeling the greatest. And having a baby is hard work. So
it's very hard work, especially when they're newborns.
Yes. That's what I was telling Sydney earlier. I was like, can you imagine having a baby and then having to go back and be like, I still don't feel good. Plus having a newborn. Oh, no. No, thank you. But their baby's beautiful. She's so cute. I love the name Quinn. I absolutely love it. So we're excited for her. And we're excited for her to join us.
We'll let Janae share pictures to come.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, we love you, Janae.
Aw, thank you for joining us in the audience.
Yes. I was not expecting that, so I'm super happy. All right, well, we are going to jump right in then. The first thing we're going to start with is, obviously, this is a ladies show, so we wanted to talk a little bit about why we decided to do the show and why we love football, because not only men love football, ladies do too. So we'll start with you, Kate. How did you get into football? Why do you love football? Kate is actually the one who came up with the brilliant idea to do a ladies show. So,
well, anyways, I've always watched sports on TV with my dad growing up, and the Lions were always on, or some football game was always on when I was growing up. And it was always tradition at my grandma's house on Thanksgiving to have whatever Thanksgiving games were on at that point in time. And I'd sit and watch, and I was just like, this is really cool. I really like this. And, they're hitting each other. This is really fun. And of course, the Lions were the first team I genuinely fell in love with until Thomas Patrick Edward Brady came onto the scene in like the year 2000 and got drafted. And then, but just watching it growing up as a little girl and thinking I really love sports and how much it was fun to watch. And of course, there was really good players when I was growing up to watch. I had Walter Payton. I had Barry Sanders. I had so many great quarterbacks to watch, like Joe Montana and so many more, Dan Marino. And I was just like, I like this sport. And, and it's cool when girls love sports. And every girl should love sports as much as we all do, in my opinion, and should love football. But I'm glad I came up with this concept. I'm glad Sean let us do this. And I love doing this with you ladies every Thursday night. And I couldn't imagine doing this without both of you and Janae. And it's just badass. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it.
You should say it because it is.
That we are ladies. We know our game. We know the sport. And we're talking about it. So with that being said, I'll let you or Delilah talk about why you
Delilah
love
can
football.
go. I'll go last.
All right, that's okay. All right, welcome everybody out there that tuned in for our second season. Thank you. We love all of you. Basically, for me, it was similar to Kate. So basically, obviously, with the 85 Bears, I was a little too young, like I was a toddler, but I still grew up with that, right? With my dad really watching football all the time. But I really came to love the game during the 90s era of all the flashy guys like Prime Time, right? Ocho Cinco, T.O. So, like, I always was all into like all these amazing guys that just went out there and like put in the work, right? And we're always like showing off. And I like showboating as long as you put up the work. And they did, they would put up the numbers. And so, like, I was always like happy to follow them. And so I love also Emmett Smith was like the sweetest guy ever, but also tough. So like when he went on Dancing with the Stars, I was like, win it all. And like he did. And I was like, yeah, he won it all. So like, I just, so I really grew up on 90s sports, like so 90s football and everything else. I love from the memorabilia type of stuff, right? The nostalgia of it. And so like I respect a lot of the 70s and 80s players, as you know, because I do like the other segments of, Diversity with Delilah. And so I learn a lot of a lot of the different games of different eras, right? And like all the different rules. So I just love the game. It's a lot of fun. And so like I grew up with a lot of friends that played football. Even though I didn't play football for, in high school or grade school, like flag football and stuff. But I had a lot of friends who did. So I would always go out and cheer them on and just be on the sidelines and enjoying football games. So it's just a good time. And then yeah, I like looking at how teams are doing from week to week, especially like my team, since I'm a Bears fan, and it could be heartbreaking sometimes. So, like, regardless, I come back all the time. And I also like the camaraderie, right? I do like going out to the sports bars too sometimes and like just kind of having fun with that crowd and just like either crying about our team or cheering on our team, whatever that may be. So it's always a good time. So I'm here for it.
Yep. I love it. I'm going to be in the minority here because I didn't start getting into football until like really, really into football, where I like cared more about my own team in the last like 3-4 years, probably 4 years now. This is probably like my fourth season of like actually caring outside of like the Cowboys and actually like having some sort of idea what's happening. I still don't know that much compared to a lot of people, but so yeah, that's just, I've always loved football. My family was always really big. My dad's side of the family was really big Vikings fan. So I grew up being a Vikings fan. So I really love like Chris Carter, Randy Moss, but even that's not too far back. And then I kind of got out of it in high school. My stepdad was a coach for football. So I took stats. So I went to like every game, was always
cool.
in there.
That's
so
cool.
That was a lot of fun. So I really love like high school football, but other than like high school, like going to games and like taking stats and like interacting on the sidelines, I didn't really care about football outside of that. And then I had my daughter and I moved back in with my parents, and then they just had football on all the time. So then I just hopped on the Cowboys bandwagon because that's who my stepdad is a fan of. So I, as a Cowboys fan, never got to live in the glory years. It's really depressing because everybody hates us because we're always like, it's our year and we're America's team. And I wasn't even able to be a part of like the good years. But I still get all the hate from everybody for it. And I'm like, I don't even know what it's like to be good. Stop. All I know is losing the first round of the playoffs.
I'm sorry. Those 90s Cowboys were something else. I do give them that.
They were a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what they tell me.
The Urban era, the Aikman era, the Emmett Smith era. That was good stuff.
I was literally born in 93, which is like the last time they were relevant. So
you were born 2 years before I graduated high school.
Having fun at my expense. Yeah, that happens a lot.
It's
It
all
happens a
gravy.
lot.
It doesn't matter when you love football. It does not matter. It's just
No.
welcome aboard, and it's just for the love of the game. So it doesn't matter how old or how long you've been a fan.
No.
That kind of thing is just silly. Like
No.
everyone is welcome.
There's no
It doesn't
competition.
matter how long you've been into it or if you're
Exactly.
brand new into it.
Right.
We're here for everybody.
Yes, we
Some
are.
men get weird about, oh, you don't know anything, but we're not like that. We're cool.
We are cool.
All right. Well, that's why we love football.
Ooh.
That's why we wanted to start this show. And one of the really, really cool things that we do on this show is talk about a woman that is in the NFL. Yay. That's one of
Yay.
our segments that we've been doing since last year. And here I'm going to show a little clip of kind of what Women in the NFL is all about.
I'm all about women empowerment. I mean, it's one of the things that I talked about when bringing this topic into this group. I really respect women and their roles, and I think a woman's place can be in the NFL. And
all right. I love it. That was I found that clip and I was like, yes, that's perfect. It perfectly sums up what women in the NFL is. But for this week, for Women in the NFL, I looked into Amanda Ruler. She is an intern assistant running backs coach for the Seahawks. I'm really curious to see how that turns out once the season actually starts, like if she'll get a full-time position or what will happen there. But she's super passionate about football. She played football in college in Ontario. She actually tried out and they said, look, girl, you're all speed, no hands. We're not going to sign you or whatever. And then she just kept showing up and said, nope, you're going to put me on the team. Like, I'm going to get on this team. So she just kept showing up to practices and they finally signed her. So I thought that was really cool that she's super dedicated. It was like, you're not going to tell me no. Because, yes, like Canada, for our Canadian friends, she actually got offered a position in like the CFL women's football program, but turned it down because the Seahawks had offered her the internship through the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship program that they do. So I thought that was pretty cool. So she's the running back coach for the Seahawks as an intern. She talks a lot about how she got told no a lot. Like she got told no to be in the college. She's gotten told like, no, women, football's not your place. Like, and all these no's have basically just been fuel to her fire to like keep going and keep being like, no, I'm going to make my spot in that football world and I'm going to keep trying and keep going. And I'm going to show you that it's based on my ability, not just that I'm a woman. Like I'm in this spot because I have the ability to be in this spot. And obviously she knows like her gender. She should like not shy away from it just to be like, oh, well, I'm in this spot because I'm a woman, but to really like embrace it and be like, look, you can do it. And it's not just because I'm a woman, it's because I also have like the great credentials to be where I'm at. Which is good. Like she understands that representation is important, but also doesn't want her being a woman to be the only reason people think that she is where she is. So yeah, that's basically her. I mean, like any woman we've talked about in the previous season of Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover is that if you see it, you can be it type thing. She just wants to be that person that's like, look, watch me, know that you can do this. So I thought that was really cool. I'm excited to see what happens to her after this internship is over. If she does like go back and go with the Women's Canadian Football League, or if she does get a position with the Seahawks. And I saw a lot of things about the Seahawks coaches and players talking about like how amazing she is. So it'll be cool to see. I'm hoping like closer in the middle of the season we can do an update on her and see where she's at now. I think that'd be really exciting.
Oh, definitely. A woman's place it should be in the NFL, and they should be recognized as being contributors in helping these men develop their game. And the fact that she's like coaching running backs is
Yeah.
really pretty sweet.
I think running backs is one of my favorite positions. It's just sweet. Like you just get to like plow through people. Like those are big,
Right.
So yeah.
And to teach them how to maneuver and
Mhm.
to get through holes and create gaps and do all those things is, as a woman, is pretty really cool.
And I saw some
think.
pictures of her, and she's like on the field running with them, like doing stuff with them. So she's right in there, like making the most of it. So that's pretty awesome.
And never let a man tell you you can't do anything, because women can do more than men usually can do. So don't ever let people tell you that you can't do anything. You can do anything you put your mind to if you're
And I
determined
agree
enough.
with Alex's comment. Like if you're contributing and you're the best at the best, then you should get that job. Doesn't matter if you're a woman,
Definitely.
man, whatever.
Oh, definitely. I guarantee from what you said, I guarantee you they'll create a position for her.
Yeah, I'm hoping she gets something because that'll be.
Well, and Pete Carroll's such a cool coach. I can't imagine he's gonna just like let her just slide and not recognize her hard work and her determination. I have a feeling he will make sure she gets a spot with the team after this is all said and done.
Well, I don't like Pete Carroll, but if he does it, it'll be the best thing he ever did.
Love him
don't
or
like
hate
anything
him,
else
he's
he
a really
does.
good coach.
I mean, maybe. He just, every time I see him on the sidelines when he play, I'm not a Seahawks fan for obvious reasons because they like to be the Cowboys and I don't like that. But every time I see him on the sidelines, I'm like, there he is. All right. But yep, women in the NFL is one thing we do. Another really cool thing we do is we highlight a cause in the NFL. I'll show another clip that kind of highlights what the cause in the NFL is all about. I think it's really nice that someone like Hayden Hurst is coming out and being like, look, you're not alone. I'm a big, tough football player, and look at me. Like, I went through it too. Like, anybody can go through it. Doesn't matter how, like, if you're an athlete, if you're a man. All right, so that was just a little highlight from Cause in the NFL last year. We talked about Hayden Hurst and his foundation that helps people with mental illnesses, but we've talked about a ton. I know we talked about the Vision one. We talked about, for the brand about like animals and like animals having cancer and all that stuff. So we talk about a ton of different causes that players in the NFL or people closely connected to the NFL run essentially. And this week we're doing the Mike Evans Family Foundation, which Kate looked into.
Yep. Do we want to run the video first or do we want me to talk?
Whatever you would like.
Okay, I'll just start giving a brief synopsis. It's really quite a sad story on why he started this foundation. He grew up in a house with domestic violence, in the fact that at the age of 9, his mother's brother killed his father because of the domestic violence that was going on in his house. He was 9 years old. He had no clue what was going on. Sorry if I get emotional. His father was his hero, and he really looked up to his father. So to know that his uncle, his mother's brother, had killed him, his mother became pregnant with Mike at 14. Wow. So there was a lot of history in that family where, he like one time shoved a can up her mouth and broke her face, and that was one of the last straws that broke the back of his uncle. So his uncle is now serving a sentence in prison, and his mother always went to visit his uncle and took the children with him. Mike's got a younger sister, and so because of all the domestic violence and the situation he grew up in, Mike turned to football as his outlet, and then he got a very good scholarship which saved his life to Texas A&M, where he excelled in football and excelled so much that he got drafted into the NFL. And it was truly what saved his life, because he grew up in such a rough home, rough background, and he grew up really wanting to give back and figure out how to give back, how to turn pain into something amazing, because he had a lot of pain in his life. So he started this foundation with his wife, Ashley, in 2017 to start helping kids that couldn't afford college to get them scholarships. And they really look at families impacted by domestic violence and helping them either get out of the situation, help them relocate, help the mom or the dad, whoever is the victim, and the kids in those situations have a better life. And he does a lot of dinners to raise funds for this foundation. He does a lot in the community in Tampa, where he's currently at, playing to better everybody. And he just wants everyone to have a better life and not to have the debt and not to have the burden to carry all of that with them, because he's learned to forgive his uncle for doing what he did. He understands why he did what he did. It wasn't easy for him as a young man growing up, but he's very blessed and fortunate that he had football as his outlet to become the man he is today. And I think Mike Evans is one of the most extraordinary men in the NFL, and he's one of the best receivers in the NFL. And he's turned what could have been a road that he led down to follow what has gone on in his life to something really amazing. So that is the Mike Evans Foundation in a nutshell, but you have to know the backstory to know why he's created this foundation and why he and his wife feel so passionately about helping these children and helping these families and students so that they can have better lives.
Both champ Mike Evans and his wife, they spend a lot of time giving back to the community here in Tampa Bay, and they do it through the Mike Evans Foundation. Let's tell you a little bit about that. Evans started this foundation in 2017, providing scholarships to kids to go to college. Evans says he wouldn't have been able to attend Texas without a scholarship himself. He went to Texas A&M, had a heck of a college career. The foundation also focuses on fighting domestic violence and helping support family and kids who are going through that difficult time.
He knows that, the fans come to games every week. He wants to be able to, give back to them as much as they support him and have supported him this entire time. And he just really wants to make a difference and be able to help the people that need it.
For the first time, the foundation gave 13 students $5,000 scholarships this year. The foundation's gala is coming up at the end of the year, where they will honor 13 leaders in Tampa Bay. You can nominate a leader now as well. Just go to abcactionnews.com/bucks to find out how.
So there's the Mike Evans Foundation. So he's a pretty incredible man, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea anything about his background, so that was really interesting. I mean, obviously, Mike Evans is like a phenomenal football player, but you would have never guessed that was his background based on where he's at now. So it's nice to see that, hey, you can come from like a really not great situation and come out on top. So I had no idea any of that stuff about him. And
me neither. Yeah, me neither. You're right. I'm with you, Ash. Thank you, Kate, for bringing this foundation to light for us. And now we know like a lot of the things that he overcame and the fact that he's so successful as he is, but wants to give back, I think is amazing. So thank you for talking about Mike Evans and his foundation.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's another reason I love cause in the NFL though too, is because you learn so much about people that's bigger than football, and you really become huge fans of it. Like I am absolutely in love with Mike Evans now, who is a good football player, yes, but never really thought anything more of it than that. But now I'm like, I really want him to succeed after learning all that about him. So
it's
that's awesome.
Amazing to know all these players they all have a story.
Mhm.
They all have a past. They all have a story. And when they have not the greatest story, that what they've done with their lives to make it better. And I love that they give back because they have the means to give back.
Yes.
And they're just not sitting in their big houses.
Mhm.
It is all about them.
Yeah. And it's nice too because there's a lot of not great news that comes out of the NFL at times. So it's nice to focus on like what good is coming out of these guys instead of
Right.
just always like what makes a good news story that is drama and just not great. So
Right.
I love
Right.
it because it's one of my favorite things we do.
I'm with
too.
that.
Alrighty, so we do women. We always do a cause. Another thing we're gonna do once the season starts, which we can kind of do today because there are some preseason games, is we will do like a preview of Thursday night games since we're on Thursdays. But for tonight, we're just gonna do like an overall season preview and talk about kind of where we think our teams are at, who we think is going to be successful this year, and kind of talk about how preseason's been going. I can go first.
Okay.
Because I hate it here because everybody is getting hurt and I hate preseason. If you've ever talked to me about preseason, you know I don't like it, and that's that. But I mean, there's no way to avoid it because I mean, look at Tyron Smith. Non-contact injury happened at practice. What do you do? Like stuff like that's gonna happen. It's just super unfortunate. The Cowboys have had a lot of injuries so far, so it's like not looking very good. And we signed absolutely nobody in the offseason, and our draft was very meh, in my opinion. I am not convinced that anybody is gonna be that great. And now Tyron Smith is hurt, so our O-line, which is already not good outside of Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, is now worse. So that's fun for Dak and Zeke, who they will put all the blame on when everything goes downhill. Not put the blame on themselves for not having any backup plan for if anyone ever got hurt. So that's fun. Gallup's not going to play at the beginning of the season because he's still recovering from his ACL injury. James Washington is hurt, so he's not going to play. The only good signing we had is now not available. So we have someone from the USFL and random people we've gotten in like the 5th round of the draft, like for the past 3 years. So they're doing great. It's great. We're still going to be better than Washington, so that's all that matters.
Poor Sean.
The Eagles are looking scarier by the second because they just seem to be doing great things, but we don't.
I know your other favorite team.
Blech. If I want any team to do bad this year, it is the Eagles and the Browns. That's all I'm saying on that.
Tell us how you really feel.
Lose every game they ever play this season, and I would not feel sad about it. But yeah, that's how I feel about the Cowboys. What are you? Injuries are not my favorite. It's injury season, and I'm not here for it.
Me
And
either.
for the most part, it seems like the majority of our injuries will not be season ending, but we're still going to have to wait a few months before they can come back.
How are your Bears looking?
Well, honestly, like, listen, all I'm happy is that the two rookies, well, the one sophomore, Jenkins, kind of turned his attitude around and seems to be finally accepting his role on the team. And then the guard we picked up from the draft seems to be also doing pretty well with protection. Our guys can run the ball, behind him. And so really, I'm just honestly, like, for me, I watch preseason just to see kind of with Ash, like, who's going to get cut, like who's going to make the roster, who isn't. I don't actually predict the future based on preseason because I've seen it fail time and time again. Every year, people make predictions off of how people are winning or losing, and then when the regular season comes around, it doesn't count for anything.
Yeah.
So really,
look at the Ravens winning every preseason game of their entire lives, and
right. So when I look at the preseason, I look at the Bears. I'm actually looking at who are they cutting, right? Like, I know we cut, Sean's favorite guy, Newsom, but again, like, it just kind of happens, right? When you have a depth chart and you have to make those cuts, like, you have to make these decisions. So I actually make more of my analysis after the first 2 weeks of the regular season.
Mhm.
The preseason, I'm just looking at who's going to make the cut. What do I see? If I see anything promising,
Like what young
that
guys
I
are
can
up
kind of
and
see,
coming.
right? And
Mhm.
so for me, the preseason is more just kind of getting to see what my roster is going to end up being,
Mhm.
right? Which, after basically this week, we're going to start seeing that even more. We're going to see more guys cut like across the board, right? And
Oh,
people kind of
definitely.
finalize what that's going to look like. And so that's really what I honestly, I want to see better protection for Justin, because I still have an issue with that. Right? Because it hasn't been great. It's not
Mhm.
awful, but it hasn't been great. So I'm hoping that by the regular season that actually is solid. Once they make their cut and their picks and guys know their positions, because sometimes it also comes down to that, like the guys knowing this is going to be your position, right? So this is what you be doing this season, or we might alternate you. Injury wise, cross my fingers. Thank God we're okay so far. So I just don't want to throw it out there, bad juju,
Mhm.
So right now, our preseason injuries have been non-existent or not enough to warrant, ending, season ending type stuff for a few weeks. So I'm okay with that, and so I'm glad that there's no more games.
Mhm.
So I'm really glad that we're done, until like the actual regular season begins, unless, whatever. But I'm just gonna keep hoping for the best. But really, that's kind of how I look at the preseason. So hopefully, we'll see. Like, I'm just honestly, I do make my analysis better after like the first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And preseason is just for me to really observe, and also for fantasy football. Like, don't pick this guy; he's not going to be
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, all of our O lines are like not looking that great,
No.
honestly. And I agree with this comment from Ben that thankfully our schedule is very easy, so we might be able to get away with not having him on the field for those first couple months. But our team is much, much, much better when Tyron Smith is out there, and it's every season. Every season he's gotten hurt. Since 2016, he's missed 2 or more games every season, and every season we never have a backup plan. And it's very frustrating as a Cowboys fan.
I'm sorry.
Moving on to somebody else's O-line problems. How are the Bucs doing?
I have my Tommy's bodyguards are a little down and out right now. But there's always drama with us Buccaneers when you have Tom Brady as your quarterback, of course.
Is Tom Brady finally deciding to come back and actually play with his team? Does
He's
he even
been
want to
back
be
all
here?
week.
Does he even want to play football? Is he the next Aaron Rodgers? Or questioning, does Tom Brady?
Oh, don't even
want to
put
play
him with
football?
don't even put him with Cameron Poe wannabe. Don't even bring Aaron Rodgers up on this show. But no,
I had to do it.
No, but anyway, we have Aaron Stiney out, knee, probably out all year. Jensen with his knee, his center, slight chance of returning. Tristan Wirfs with oblique injury, probably will be back at some point, don't know when. So 3 of our best our linemen on offense, Tom's bodyguards, are down. It's pretty sad. And they're right now not looking to go out and get anyone to fill those spots.
You're pulling the Jerry Jones. We like what we have at home. They need to step up.
But anyway, we are pretty loaded at receiver. Evans will be back.
Coming back.
Evans should be back soon. Look at Godwin. He wasn't supposed to be back for training camp and everything, but he worked out with Tom's witch doctor, as I like to call him, and got back before the season started. We just signed Julio Jones, which was a really huge pickup. Oh, good Lord, have mercy on my soul. Cindy, that's another topic for another time. Anyway, I think we'll be okay. I think we're going to come out strong. Tom will have the team ready. I'm very thankful that he decided to come back because our backup quarterbacks aren't doing as great as I was hoping.
What?
Blaine
Travis
Gabbert
man.
and don't even go there with my backup quarterbacks right now. They're awful.
I don't want to talk about those either.
So they haven't shown really good stuff. I mean, the last game was better for us, but not as good as it should be. So it's nice that Tom's back from his prepared leave and leading the team. He came back this week. There was no Masked Singer. He put those rumors to rest.
Thought he was following in Gronk's footsteps. Sadly.
Yeah, he's not. But yeah. Oh, I'm gonna miss him and Gronk, but we have Kyle Rudolph now. We're gonna have a good season. We're gonna beat them boys week 1. Sorry, Ash.
I mean, probably. I'm not holding out any hope that we will win week 1. I was really happy last year when we kept it close.
But I think
week 1. The Cowboys have never beat Tom Brady, so I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah. They say Tom, the quarterback coach, has said that he's never seen Tom throw better. He's throwing at a great precision this season for a 44, almost 45-year-old man. He's doing really great. So yeah, I think we'll have a decent season. I think we have a chance of going to the Super Bowl. I mentioned that on the show with North Sports Dynasty. Me and Andrew talked about it. My other Buck fan. Thank God for Andrew. He understands. And some of the other guys understand as well. So anyway, I think the Bucks are going to have a very good season. And I think if we can get some offensive linemen in place of these injured ones, I think we're going to do well. I'm just concerned because the center is the guy that is in tune the most with your quarterback.
Yes.
So with Jensen being out, and that's Tom's boy, who he trusts and knows is going to work well with him, it'll be interesting. So. With that being said, I'm excited for the season to start. I'm excited for what's to come. And I'm excited to see my man with your TB12, everybody's favorite. And let's talk football.
I don't know. There's another
on the field.
I'm done with Tom Brady talk. I'm moving on.
There's another number 12 out there, right? That people love. But no, that's one thing I don't have to worry about. Like Simeon did good for us at backup, so I mean it's good to know that's one area I'm comfortable with.
You have a good QB quarterback backup.
Yeah. I mean Simeon did good.
I thought he was doing good. I thought he was doing pretty good. Our backup quarterback situation is terrible. This is bad. I don't want to talk about it.
Sorry. No, it's awful because usually I'm always we had Foles, we had everybody, we had the whole crew up in there.
Yeah.
I'm okay with where we're at, field, and then we got a strong backup, it seems like, so that area I'm okay with. With Tom Brady, I'm surprised that the Bucs didn't pick up Wes Martin, but the Commanders did, because the Jaguars cut him, and he's a veteran, and he's been to Pro Bowls, and apparently, he had the numbers. So I was actually surprised that,
Todd Bowles and all the other coaches.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Fire and left. I think they have a desperate situation yet. Yeah,
I don't know, because you're right. I'm glad that Tom Brady is throwing well, but he is 45, and when you hit the ground at 45 by a 300-pound charging, you know what I mean?
What a lot of people say is the way Tom Brady goes down, if he does go down, he's very pliable, and that's something his witch doctor, as I call him, is really good at working on him at, is when he gets hit, is he going to be pliable, or is he going to go down and stuff's going to break?
Hey,
the refs will help him. So
I hope so. Hey, Bears fans have little to ever be grateful for you. So, I will take whatever I can get.
The Bears fans are just taking what they can get. At this point. They have an amazing quarterback, but unfortunately, they have nothing to protect him. So I'm just that Justin Fields doesn't end up
But
Very
hey, look
limited
at
out there this season.
there is some drama going on in the NFC North with Mr. Cameron Poe, as I like to call him now, because of the fact that he is angry with his wide receivers and is arguing with them because they're not playing well.
I mean, to be fair, I would probably be mad if I was him too, because he just went from arguably the best receiver in the league to nothing. Like,
so the NFC
nothing.
North might be a toss-up this year with the Lions and everything. So you might get a good chance there, Delilah.
I wish, but I know better.
I'm gonna get no matter what, I'm gonna keep the Bears right at the bottom. Unfortunately, maybe in the next few years they can move their way up.
I'm trying to give you some positivity.
No, I know. I'm gonna keep on carpet bagging it, so if something good happens, then just because then if something positive happens, they're like, oh my god, something great happened. So I'm gonna keep my
don't get on the train of delusion that Cowboys fans get on, where it's like, oh, look at us, we're doing good, we have the easiest schedule in the world and we're amazing, and then it all just goes and we lose first round in the playoffs.
Right. So I'm just gonna take it as it is.
But after watching all the Hard Knocks shows on HBO, I'm just really extremely excited for the Lions this year. I will say, talking about previews to the season, I am excited to see what the Detroit Lions do. Your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown's looking phenomenal in training camp. He's looking super good. The coaches are super happy with where he's at. Yay. Jared Goff, we'll see what he has to give.
I fell off the Goff train 2 years. I try to every year be like, he's gonna go back to Super Bowl Goff. It's gonna be great. He's fine, you guys. He's fine. And then every year he comes out and he doesn't do it. And I'm like, never mind. I give up.
But I'm excited. So I'm kind of looking in the background of the Lions this year as well. So
speaking of players we're excited for, we are going to move into one of my other favorite segments of the Ladies Show, and we're going to talk about our hot player who we're excited to see this upcoming season. So we're talking about how excited we are for the Lions, which I too am excited. But I'm going to show you my favorite clip ever from a hot player of the season from last season.
And I just freaking love it. That's why I love this man. He's a big guy. He's a big, massive piece of magic. And I just freaking love him. Josh Allen is my hot player of the week. And we were just talking about Kelsey being hot. Josh Allen is hot in every way for me too. I love him. I love him.
Oh, that's the greatest ever.
Absolutely my favorite part, I think, of this.
Oh my god.
Never happened.
That will never not be funny and amazing.
Nope. I had to bring it back. I had to bring back the massive piece of magic.
I love that.
Absolutely love it. Who I'm also excited for this season. But we'll start with you, Kate, since we're kind of on this Lions trend. Who are you excited for this season?
I'm excited to see what number 97, Aiden Hutchinson from the University.
No one saw that coming.
Michigan does, because he's already on Defensive Rookie of the Year watch for this season. The man knows no ceiling for his greatness. He will work his tail off to become the best defensive edge player in NFL history if that's his ceiling. The man has worked so hard to get where he's at. At Michigan, he had a season-ending injury that they weren't sure when he'd come back from it, and he trained, and he came back right on time for his senior season, and we saw how he balled out there. And look at how well he did on his first series against the Atlanta Falcons in their first preseason game. He had a tackle for loss. He had a penalty in his gain, a holding. He had one time 3 Falcons trying to contain him at one point. The man is so fast. He's so quick. He's so in tune to how to get to the quarterback. I have a feeling he could be right up there in sack leads this season unless defensive ends can figure out how to get him offensive guards and different players can figure out how to contain him, because he got through a nine-time Pro Bowler for the Falcons and to get that tackle for loss. So, and watching him in the Hard Knocks, coaches can't say enough good things about him and how hard he's working. And man, he can do Michael Jackson's Billie Jean like none other. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. YouTube it. It's brilliant. You got the whole team hyped up. Dan Campbell has nothing but great things to say about him. And so I'll be watching my third favorite player in the NFL. I can't give him second yet. That's Mr. Smokey Smooth. So we all know my love for Burrow. But I'll be really interested to see how he does this season. And I think he's going to shock the world. I really, truly do. I think his ceiling is high. His expectations of himself are high. He really wants to excel in this league. And I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's going to prove to everyone why he should have maybe been the number one pick, and that the Lions got lucky and got him at 2.
Yes, I'm really excited to see how he does because he's an absolute stud.
Doesn't he?
Excited for the Lions in general. It's just one of those teams that has been not great for a long time, and you just want them to do good. I mean, maybe not Delilah because that's her division, but like I just root for the underdog. They've just been so bad for so long, and I'm like,
they deserve some
seem to be
greatness.
making all the right moves.
No, they do. They do.
Yeah.
The rivalry isn't really between the Bears and Chicago, and Detroit anyway. The only time is when we play each other because those division games really matter. But we don't tend to root against each other. We do definitely, obviously, we know Green Bay and Minnesota. We'll never cheer for Minnesota. Like, if you ever been to a Vikings bar, they blow that Vikings horn. Yeah. And it's like, oh my God.
They're obnoxious. They're so obnoxious.
Inside your up in a Vikings, that's right. So, it's like, oh my goodness. So basically, those are the two teams that, you'll never have a Bears fan, cheer for. Now I'll recognize players individually. I will give them their props individually, but I will not be rooting for those teams ever.
I grew up with Vikings fans. They're obnoxious.
Oh my God. Go to the Vikings bar, okay? Listen for that horn.
I don't want to know. Just listening to it, when you hear it on TV, it's like, oh God, here they go.
It's obnoxious.
Oh my God. But I love you.
They're obnoxious too, though. So
all right. You know it's true, Viking fans. You're out there. You know it.
I just like when we get to fire the cannons. That's all I like.
Yeah, that is cool. That is cool.
So yeah, I would like to see, Detroit show some progress, see what happens. That's why we were cheering for last year is why so many of us were all happy, for Mr. Stafford and stuff. Because we're like, oh, you put in a lot of time.
You deserve this. Yeah.
So one thing that, if you come to Chicago, if you visit us, we are a sports town and we do know our sports here. And so we do recognize that level, right? Mm-hmm. Which is, that's why we have a lot of respect for Barry Sanders, for Calvin Johnson, individually, so we get that, So we might joke around and josh with each other because, it's just all in fun. But fans themselves, we actually get along. If you go to any bar in Chicago, you will see that all the NFC division, NFC North division fans, we hang out and we just mess around with each other and stuff. We egg each other on. The fans themselves, we actually love each other and hang out and stuff. We just root against our teams because, You're
better people than me because I will never, ever, ever be nice to an Eagles fan.
I know you won't be. Which is funny because I actually one player that I hope doesn't get cut, but they're saying he might be is Devin Allen. I like him because he comes from an interesting background. Like you guys know, right? He's a 2-time Olympian, and even before he came to training camp, he was breaking all these records in the hurdles, and then he caught that massive pass that we saw that.
He's so fast.
Just super dusted. Fast. just dusted the Cleveland Browns defense, right? Just left them in the dust. And I know that he's risky because he hasn't played like officially football since 2016, but I don't know, man. I feel like he would be great anyway. If for some reason the Eagles cut him, somebody's got to pick this guy up, because I do feel like he has the potential to just run with it and just pick up massive yards. So I hope like he ends up on an NFL team if it's not the Eagles. But that's someone I really would like to see get a chance in the NFL this upcoming season, because I want to see if he could do that in the regular season, like just dust people. Because I always find it, just see him just dash, right?
I love his like touchdown celebration. Hurdles.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, the hurdles. Like, can you imagine if he hurdles over someone? Like, come on. I'm waiting for that to happen. But yeah, I'm excited for him. And then what I wanted to say that there is I am one thing for the Bears. I am looking at Dominique Robinson, our edge rusher, because we sent a lot of guys away in our defense, like Khalil Mack and stuff. And and we still have kind of an issue ongoing issue with Roquan. And so I hope that this kid can step up, because he did do really well this preseason, got multiple sacks, multiple pressures, and so I'm hoping that, he'll do well for us too, in the regular season. So, and those are the guys I'm kind of looking forward to. Obviously that might change as the season comes on and we see other exciting rookies come up, as always happens on this show, right? We're like, oh my God, did you see this guy? And
Will says he's excited to see the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I completely disagree with the statement. I think he is not good at football at all, but that's just me. Their team is talented. Their coach is a weirdo, and Jalen Hurts is not good at football. That's all. That's how I feel. Anyway, moving on to who I think is going to be, who I'm excited to see this year. This is going to be it's annoying to me that they're Steelers players, because here I go just piggybacking off everything Sydney says, and it's very annoying. But it's hard not to get excited when these guys are on my TV all the time, and I listen to my husband sit here and blah, 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 blah about them all day, every day. And there's two people for the Steelers I'm excited about, and it's George Pickens and Pickett. So Pickett and Pickens. I'm excited for the duo. I'm excited to see what they can do this season. I'm very intrigued by Kenny Pickett and the quarterback situation in Pittsburgh, because at first I was very on, it's Mitch's job to lose. There's no way he doesn't just start the whole season and play the whole season. But now, I know you're not supposed to get too excited over preseason, but it's exciting. It's hard not to be excited. Good. Yeah, he looks good. The thing with the Steelers is they all look pretty, their quarterbacks all look pretty good. None of them have played bad, unlike the Cowboys quarterbacks. But I'm excited for Pickens, because Pickens looks like a stud, and I'm super excited about Pickens in fantasy, and I don't want anyone else to look at him in fantasy. Just let him come to me. But Pickett has been doing great. I know the first game he went 13 for 15, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns, 132.6 passer rating. He had a game-winning drive. And then this last game, he went 6 for 7, 76 yards, a touchdown that he scored right before half. And he only played 2 series in this last game, which was a little, I was like, what's happening? Why isn't he playing more? Have Tomlin seen all he needs to see, and he's like, this might be the guy, or what's happening there?
It usually means he's being looked at as a possible starter, and they don't want
to. That's what I'm trying. So that's where my brain kind of went. I was like, you've only played 2 series, so are the Steelers like, yep, we've seen what we need to see, get him out of here, because we don't need to risk it? And it's very intriguing. I was on there's no way Kenny Pickett starts this season, and now I'm like, oh wait, Mitchell Trubisky is one wrong step away from being like, okay, bye, we're putting in Pickett. And
did you watch any of Pickett at Pittsburgh?
I have not.
He was
I'm
pretty
not
phenomenal
college
for
football
them.
Guru. I probably should look. It'd probably get me even more excited and questioning what's
He
going
was
on over
very good for them.
Yeah.
Very good.
Pickens. Yeah, I'm excited for them both because it'll be interesting to see. The Steelers have a history of doing a very, very good job at drafting receivers. So I'm sure
Did you see the thing with Ben with Pickett? He said that he'd help him find the bars that are good for picking up the women in the in Pittsburgh.
Goodness. No.
That just came out today, and I was dying laughing.
Oh my goodness. Well, at least Ben is willing to help young quarterbacks, unlike some quarterbacks in the league who will not help their draft picks.
Nope.
Ryan Tannehill, I'm looking at you.
Exactly.
But no, I'm excited. Those are probably the two rookies I'm most excited to see. And the quarterback situation is just very intriguing over there. It's very exciting.
It's fun when there's a battle for number one.
It is.
I like those battles because it makes those players have to be better and better each practice.
You know they're doing their best out there, like putting it all.
It's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun season to see how these kids do.
I do too.
Alrighty, so the last part of our show, since we're coming to the very end, we are good on time. Look at us. We are not like the men. We stay on track, guys.
Yes, we do.
Is the last part we always do is ladies have the final say. And I'm going to show you a segment again from last season to kind of show you what it's all about.
But you need to not give up and just try your best to persevere through whatever you want to reach, right? Whatever goal, whether it's short goal, long goal, whatever, just perseverance is key. And I know it's hard.
All right. So that is just a little snippet of what we do on Ladies Have the Final Say. We kind of just leave you with our one last thought. Sometimes it's super inspirational, but if you're me, it's normally not. It's
oh, stop.
Random.
Don't believe her.
Don't believe the hype.
I'll go first. I don't really have anything for today because my brain is so fried from the first 3 weeks of school that I can't even put together a thought. It's amazing I was even able to get us through the show. I just want to say thank you to everyone in the comments. It's super awesome to have all your guys' support all the time. I know we've been talking in the comments about how we were going to go live for the last 3 weeks, and we haven't, but you all still showed up even though I've been gaslighting you for the last 3 weeks. And I appreciate it. We have the best supporters in soft football, and I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited for the rest of the season. And that's all I got.
Well, I'll go next. My biggest thing right now is taking care of the temple that you were given and making sure you're doing what's best for it so you can live a very long life. In the last 3 weeks, I've been hardcore back in the gym, working on my fitness. I'm there 4 days a week with a trainer. I'm there for a little over an hour between working out with her and then getting back into the cardio world and getting more stronger there. I've really worked on my diet, cutting back carbs, cutting back sugar, really healthy foods, lots of protein. I've not had soda in about 3 months. I've really cut back on alcohol and everything, trying to get my body just super healthy. I already struggle with not being in full remission from breast cancer, and I have rheumatoid arthritis. And right now, I honestly feel in the last month, I feel better than I have in the last few years because of it. So people, take care of your temple, take inventory of the stuff you're putting in your temple and taking inventory of what you're doing in your everyday lives to make sure you're bettering your temples and so that you can live a long, very full, very energetic life. I have a daughter. I want to be here a long time for her. And I want to have energy that I don't need from caffeine or from energy drinks. And I want to have that energy from the fuel that has been put into the ground in vegetables and good fruits and just, that's my new inspiration. I'm going to be 46 soon, guys. I know I look it, so don't tell me I don't. No. Anyway, but I'm going to be 46. I'm heading on to 50. I don't want to be that old person that isn't out living their best life and doing their best every single day. So my spiel is take care of the temple you were given, because you don't know when that temple is going to be taken away from you. So, be there for your families, live right, be healthy, be physically active. Just don't sit on the couch.
I love it.
That was great. Thank you, Kate. And no, you look fantastic. So
5 pounds
you
down
look
since
great.
February.
Well, no, like you look fantastic. You do not look like you're in your 40s. You look great. So like also want to say thank you everybody who has been with us today, who's popped in and out, regardless, who will see us later on. I know like everybody has crazy hours. So I want to say hi, thank you, I love you to people who are watching us now, people who popped in and out, and anybody who will watch us later on replay and things like that. Thank you guys for always supporting us, because we wouldn't have this show without y'all. And I wouldn't be able to do the show with these awesome hosts of mine, my co-hosts, Kate and Ash and Janae when she's back. I'm so happy that she popped in the comments from, so I'm so happy that she popped in and surprised us and commented. So very, very, very happy. What I wanted to say is following Kate is that on top of the temple, make sure you also take care of your mental health. Building in, basically, from the foundation that Kate talked about earlier, that mental health is really important. I'm going to be honest and full front with you. I do see a therapist. Seeing a therapist doesn't mean you're crazy. There's a lot of taboo about that. And so if you need to talk to somebody, reach out. There's so many different sources now that never existed before. Like you can go online and do like a virtual. You can talk to somebody now on the phone. There's so many other options out there now. You are not alone. You are not alone. And so as much as friends are great, I'm not saying not to go to your friends and your loved ones that you trust and your confidants, because they do matter. But there's nothing wrong with talking to a professional, because they are objective, right? And so they're not going to tell you what you want to hear, right? And then also they're going to help you work through a lot of things. And sometimes it could be hard at first, right? It's not easy to sit down and talk to somebody, but I promise that it's worth it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's time to erase that taboo. So if you need to see somebody, go for it. Talk to somebody. There's so many other options out there available for you. So that's my final say.
That's a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was awesome. See, told you. Me, not inspirational. The rest, amazing, beautiful people. But with that being said, we are going to get off here. I'm so grateful for everyone who was in the comments. We love you. I can't wait for the season to get started. I'm so excited. I like preseason. Go away. Let's go.
Yay! I'm excited about fantasy football. All ladies, yes. Ash, thank you for coming up with that. I will help you with that as much as I can as well.
Oh, yes.
I've been doing it for years.
Next week we will be on, but we will be drafting, right? I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
Nope,
you set it up for September 1st.
But we'll be drafting instead of doing our regular show. But then after that, we will be full swing because the season will have started. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. Thanks, ladies, for coming back on this crazy train with us. With me and doing the show, and thank you to everyone who's tuned in. We love you.
Bye.